I would say don't let the day define who you are, right? There's days where you're gonna make some good money and you can walk away. There's days the market's gonna do what it wants to do. And it's one of those days where it's difficult to look back that you're up so much and then let's say you go into negative. But the point being is that one day does not define who I am as a trader, and nor should it define who you guys are, especially if you're thinking about this as your long-term career. I don't think you need one day to help you get the negative and impactful mindset where you can't think clearly for the rest of the day, right? So I would just warn a lot of you guys that they get in a depression over a losing trade. You have to get over that, right? Each trade doesn't have a probable impact, nor do you know which way it's going to go. I would say just minimize the negative self-talk when you're trading and after, right? So with that being said, today, pretty eventful day. When you think about the range, you're talking about from 62 to about what, 5904. And it was on a crappy volume for the most part, right? It's not like they're showing aggression anywhere. If you guys look here, the volume's fairly weak the last 2 days, right? You're seeing some in the morning where you have these sell-offs. I'll enable candles so you guys can see them. You have aggressive sell-offs and then you get these grinds up to basically, does everybody understand how this is possible? Like this was a really good short today and then they dropped it and then they slowly grind and each one of these weak shorts that was sitting there gets stopped, does what?
Fuels a rally.
Yeah, it fuels the rally. If I was short here, right, then I was. If I'm short here and I had decent profits here and I was targeting lower, I was thinking they're going to go all the way here because there was no interest at that time to take it higher. And then, of course, they spark this candle out of nowhere and look at the volume here. I mean, it's not much. And then you take a look at this candle and this volume, and it's like, okay, well, that's important candle. And then, of course, they drop below it, and daily profile left some good news for us for tomorrow, at least for a setup that we know we can take and play. Do you guys see it?
Yeah, double distribution.
Yeah, this is clear as day. So it would be the halfback of a day prior, right? Perfect halfback, and then you would have a double distribution that's separated by single prints right here. So what you want to see tomorrow in the stock market, if you're a bear, what do you want to see?
Below that level.
Okay. Now look a little bit to the left and look to the right and see if you can spot something that's pretty interesting. From here to here, what can you say? Obviously, we're in a balance, right? We're in, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days balance. We closed above the POC. The first SIG is sitting somewhere around 81, and I think that's where we are right now. Yeah, we just tapped it. Actually, it was a good long in 82. If we lose this POC and then we lose this, potential for us to actually go all the way 81 and lower increases quite a bit, right? We went below here and then they found some buyers overnight at 62, which was, my 68 is still a big level, right? We talked about the weekly level being there. So anytime they dip below it and they defended it with single prints, that means that there's other time frame participants buying the bottom of this range. So now if they go to the top, and today they experienced a little bit, right? So if you guys zoom in here, you see the J period, right? And if you look at this, look how big the J period was right here. I mean, it cracked nicely. Let me go here so you guys can see it. So the J period cracked above, and then the M period went all the way up here, right? It created a little spike off of, when I say spike, it's not a clear spike. It didn't break the J period high, but they did break, the prior I period here. And then when you look at the close, it'd be closed relatively at the highs, right? And I would say, they did a pretty good job of closing, but they did not close where? At the highest point, at the highs of the day, right? They dropped it quite a bit. So 904 and a drop to 892 is a decent drop, and they closed it right at the value area high. So tomorrow, when you look at this, right, you have some buyers showing up on the bottom. You have buyers showing it on the top, and you had what type of day today? Here's your IB, here's your IB 2X. What type of day is that?
Trend.
Is this trend?
This an open test drive?
No, that's auction type. But what type of day is this?
Oh, dang. Hmm. I say typical. Variation kind of.
Normal variation day, right? Because when you stay below the IB2X, you went above and you came quickly above it. That's a normal variation day type. So we don't have the most confidence at the top. We didn't have confidence on the bottom, right? So they did break the IB, which is bullish. So they had somewhat of a bullish close here. We opened at the lows, we closed almost at the highs, not quite there, but inside the prior day value, right? We are inside the 2-day value where the value area low shifted, value area high shifted, as well as the POC shifted down. So what does that tell you?
Value is framing down, whereas price got kind of spiked up.
Yep, so the price got spiked up in J&M periods, right? And then when you look at this, couple of days here, just follow me along. On this day, follow the value area low, the value area low, the value area high. Now look at the price action that's happening. When I put this right here, look at this. I mean, what you need to see right now for bulls to gain control, wouldn't you want to see them at least like above here? You have a value area low, value area high, even if you go tighter than that. Don't you want them at least above this 96.75 level? Because that would mean that we are trying to play in the upper distribution. If you're below this level, which comes very closely here, we have the top distribution here for the top part, and then a double distribution off of today. Once you lose this POC and this double distribution, I would not be shocked if we test that 50 again. And until then, right, if they're able to hold this tomorrow, a retest of this tomorrow would be potentially a decent long here, right? And I think they're right here, right now. Right? They're right here. Yep, they're right here overnight. So they got to reclaim these single prints, and then it gives you an opportunity to potentially catch a long for overnight. So as soon as they clear this 87. Okay, does that make sense to all?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, and then just looking at SVP real quick to make sure I'm not, so it is a double distro as well. And you see, right, if we lose, I would say this, you're gonna go 78 most likely. And then exploration of the value would be all the way down to about 62. And the value area shifted on volume profile as well, which is not the best scenario, I would say, for bulls on the bracket, but let's see. Just remember, I do not care about single prints inside of the bracket, meaning the axis on the top or bottom. Does that make sense? Why?
Why, Shorty?
Does anyone know the answer?
Because it wasn't outside of the value, so other time frame participants didn't make it.
Exactly. Remember, other time frame participants, did we get some here? Potentially, right? We got some here. Other time frame participants like to buy below the value and sell above the value. And if we are showing them that we have single prints inside the bracket, I just don't trust them as much, right? Just because we know other time frame participants are never inside the two-sided activity. They're always above or below the value.
But today they respected a single print left behind from, what was it, yesterday? Pretty well.
Are you talking about the axis?
905-ish.
905. Are you talking about this here? Yeah, the axis.
Yeah.
Yep. That was the B period, right? And I mean, of course, we have a lot of lower highs right here. Higher high, lower high, lower high, lower high. You know, you put in a lower low briefly here, you swept the liquidity. So maybe, you know, let's see how they open tomorrow. But if they open ultimately, let's say above this 98, that's extreme bullishness. And most likely we're going to hit 915. We have the PW POC that's sitting here as well. And if you guys look on the first sig of this is sitting right here. So this zone is not a zone you want to initiate. Oh, I think we said 8 days or something like that. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 7. That's fine. I'll change that to 7 days.
How would you treat the weekly excess that was left? Would you consider that outside of the value area or
Which one? At the bottom?
top?
Oh, this? Yeah, that's definitely access. Yeah. Here?
Yeah, because on the weekly, I think on a period, I'm getting it at
Yeah, that's access there.
1375, 913.75.
I'm not sure what time frame you're on. Like, are you on weekly?
Yeah, on weekly.
I don't see that at that level. I see last week's access is a 9 something 9. What is this? 919.
Yep. Yeah, I was looking at the 919. Yep.
Yeah, and then you have this. I guess POC is kind of like this right here. Yeah, so this would be a really good opportunity for potentially look above fail, and then we go back down all the way, right, to the first sig, which would be somewhere around here. As of right now, weekly is still not framing down, right? We got to take the 50 out. We're just building an inside week, so it would be a 2-week bracket again that we're in. We've spent some time, as you guys see on the top, but every time we came to the prior week value area high, what happened?
Got rejected.
Got rejected, and the last week's value area is sitting at 84. That's where I was shorting today here, and they got inside, and of course they ran it, right? But they didn't even get to the POC. Typically you would get to that POC fast. So let's see. Tomorrow this little zone is going to play a critical role for us. Open below it, right? That would be good retest short. We take that. Open above it, come back to it. Might be a decent long, and we go from there. I'll be on in the morning trading live with you guys, sharing screen. So if you guys can, that'd be good if you join.
Great. Thanks, Shorty.
All right, guys. See you guys tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Bye.